The year is 2017. Two 20-somethings, Georgia and Emma, team up to create a podcast. Have you tried yoga?
Welcome to the Have You Tried Yoga podcast.
Hey Georgia,
Hey Emma.
do you ever have people on the street or random people being like, well, why don't you try this?
I do. So today's episode is focusing on the dumbest, unsolicited medical advice we've either had or heard of.
So a bit of a definition about unsolicited. It means you did not seek the info. Maybe you just said to someone, oh, hey, I have chronic pelvic pain. And they've gone, oh, my aunt, sister's nephew's cousin had chronic pain. And it's usually that of a tenuous connection.
Oh,
and
God,
they've gone, let me tell you what will fix your problem.
I will change your world.
Would you like a cure? I think I know one. I think it's yoga.
Oh God, and that's
Cool
why
yoga.
And that's why our show is called Have You Tried Yoga?
Yes.
Because I know myself, I have had so many people go, oh, I see you have a problem with pain. You should do yoga. That'll cure it. And look, I have no problem with yoga. It's probably great fun for people that enjoy it. But
Yoga was really nice to me the other day. I mean, she's a lovely... Sorry.
she's a lovely lady. She made me a cake. No, it's like an exercise thing, and it can't fix genetic illnesses, contrary to belief.
Weren't you saying, like, if I tried yoga and I overextended something, like...
I would get sicker, yeah.
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 You would put something out of place.
Oh God, yeah, I'd dislocate something like nothing you've ever seen. So it's called Have You Tried Yoga because I'm sure that's I've been on the interwebs and there's a lot of people who have kind of put stories of like their aunt being like, oh, my nephew's uncle's donkey tried yoga. They tried yoga and now they're cured. We don't hate yoga. We just think that people need to keep their opinions to themselves.
Yeah, and so they need to keep their opinions to themselves, but we're going to share their opinions with you today. We've each made a list of our top 10 unsolicited medical advice, and we don't know what each other has.
No, so this is going to be
created.
like a fun unveil.
Yeah.
I'm keen
An
to see
unboxing, a verbal unboxing.
Yeah, and I'm keen to see if we have many overlaps.
Yeah.
Like I've got some funny ones and some like too real emotional ones here. So
Oh, I think I started with some too real ones, so I might read mine backwards.
I put number 1 as being like the most offensive.
Okay.
What did you put? I guess my number 10 is my most personal offensive one, but I'd put it as 10 because a lot of people might not react to it.
Which way do you want to go?
Let's go number 1 last. Is that all?
I was just thinking, should we... Okay, if you do your most personal one last, I'll do like a funny one last, and then we'll end on a good note.
Sure.
Because we don't want to make people really sad.
Are
And
we
just
gonna,
like sob into a pillow as they listen to this podcast.
Are we going to read ours all together or like swap?
I reckon swap.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll start at the bottom then.
Alright, you go first. So, this is your number 10, unsolicited medical advice.
Yes.
Alright, hit me.
So, my favourite story is being told that I don't need drugs.
Like prescription drugs?
No, you don't need medication. Big Pharma has conned you.
The Illuminati.
Big Pharma is out to get me.
So what's Big Pharma?
Big Pharma is like...
I'm asking for the people who don't know.
Yeah, so Big Pharma is like this slang for the medicine-making people who make the drugs and design the drugs and sell the drugs.
Like all the big companies.
Yeah. So like AstraZeneca is like a drug company and they like make the drugs and stuff like
Pfizer.
that. Yeah,
That's
Pfizer.
the really big one.
Yeah, Pfizer is a really good example. So I've been told by a few people that you're only on medication because Big Pharma has bribed your doctor to tell you that you need to take it. Which is hilarious because without all of these medications, I'd be doing a lot more damage to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm on a reflux medication called Nexium, and without it, I'd be scarring my esophagus every time I consume food. But you know,
Sounds awful.
Big Pharma's out to get me.
Yeah, because they just want your money. I mean,
Illuminati.
has that happened? I'm pretty sure that has happened, like, within history where...
Absolutely.
We wouldn't say Big Pharma, but, you know, a company has pushed doctors to sell a certain product and
Absolutely.
it has been for a advantage, for their own gain.
Well, for their greed.
But it's not like they've decided to come together, all these big companies, have a
They
bit of a
don't
mob
like each
boss
other.
meeting and decided to go,
I don't know, boss. I think we need to push this one harder. That's not going to come out very well on the recording. Oh well.
that was George's mob boss voice.
Yeah, so I was told that Illuminati-style company meetings were kind of done and that...
Really?
Yeah.
So who said this? Can you, like, what type of connection were they
Okay,
to?
it's someone I knew through the community at my university.
Like the disability community?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and
Just throw that back at them.
well, I said that you may feel that way, but I don't.
Oh, that's so polite.
I tried.
I would have laughed.
I did when I left his site, like a lot bit, but yeah, so you don't need drugs because Big Pharma's out to con you. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So,
hilarious.
I mean, it's hilarious in retrospect, but it's very offensive. Don't do it.
I love like Illuminati conspiracy theories. They're so awful. I was listening to this, I think it was it a podcast or a book? I'm not too sure. I listen to a lot of audio things. It was saying that basically you can't really stop anyone who's like on that conspiracy theory track, say for example Big Pharma,
Really?
telling them the facts about
Yeah.
why it is not is
Doesn't it-
actually not going to stop them. You can't actually reason with them. They actually need to get to the point where they figure out there are holes in their story and they come out of it. Like a really scary...
I think I did a little bit on that in social psychology, and it's like even if you give them really good reasons, they'll just distort them to be on their side.
Yeah.
Like the more you fight them, the more they'll resist.
How should you respond when someone says Big Pharma just wants you to have drugs?
I just...
Well, what about big multivitamin? You know what I mean? Like, they talk about, these are the people that they'll be really anti prescription drugs.
Yeah, but you should take all these weird herbal supplements that smell funny.
You should eat like rhinoceros horn and like...
And you're like, no,
Oh my
thank-
gosh, someone once gave me birth trauma drops, which are like, because I was born premature, which as far as we can tell has nothing to do with my pelvic issues. And so the trauma of my mother's birth, she gave me these drops, this nutritionist, because I've been down the alternative medicine
were
route.
you?
Oh no, this was like, I was probably like 22, like your age. I don't know what was in them, but you know, she tried
Probably
to make
just
money out of
straight
me.
water.
Yeah, probably some rosehip oil or lavender. But you know, so I feel like honestly those people, those crunchy people, I'm from Byron originally, so I feel like I can say that. Those crunchy people who are like, you know, Big Pharma's out to get you, Illuminati, etc. But, you know, have some kava and you'll be fine. Like that, they will have an alternative medicine issue. But multivitamins are a huge industry themselves. We can look at both and be like, what are your intentions?
Absolutely.
There's not like...
I think you can look
There's
at...
maybe like a shred of credibility to people being like Big Pharma. Like, yeah, maybe it's all a conspiracy, but they use that to delegitimize your pain.
Absolutely. And that's what it comes down to. They make you look... They try to perceive you as being weak and you gave in to so-called Big Pharma when actually Big Pharma probably changed your life and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, I know... You know, you don't say to someone who's had a heart attack that, you know, them taking, I don't know, anti-heart attack drugs. I don't know all of them. I'm on beta blockers, which reduces your heart rate because mine's too fast. But it's not really socially appropriate to tell them that they're an idiot for taking drugs.
You know what? I used that that type of example against someone who was telling me that I don't want to jump the gun and give one of my answers, but basically saying that the X was the reason why, and you know, it was kind of like a silly reason why my pain would exist. And I said, would you say that to someone with cancer who's going through cancer treatment? And they said, well, you can just treat cancer naturally through diet. And I was like, I am backing away right now. What the heck?
I heard someone once say...
How could you say that to someone?
Do you remember the Belle... I forgot her last name. Controversy. She had the whole pantry.
Belle Gibson?
Belle Gibson.
Yeah, so she was an Australian blogger, social media star. She faked having cancer and she had Munchausen, which is my favourite psychological disorder. I love it so much.
It's fascinating. It's obviously very hard for the people who have it because it's a legitimate disorder, but some of the stories...
I'm just like gleeful about it.
some of the stories come out are pretty like, what? But she tried to say that coffee enemas would cure cancer.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so an enema is what you shove up your bum to make you poop.
Imagine what that did to your like colon and like
That
your,
would
you know,
be-
your rectal passage.
I don't like
Oh.
to think about that because I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, but there's a
don't
difference
put it
between putting it in
straight
your
away.
mouth and then putting it up your bum. Like that would tear things, I am sure.
Wouldn't that burn like nothing?
Wouldn't it? It probably makes going to the bathroom very difficult in the future. Like it's soft skin, like you can tear that stuff really easy.
absolutely. All right, well, what's your...
Let's move on from
Let's move on from bum
butts and
stuff.
coffee enemas.
What was yours?
Okay. I will start off with one that a friend helped me remember because
Oh.
I actually had trouble coming up with 10, which was really
Okay.
bad for me.
I think I have one that might be a bit... Yeah, anyway.
Whatever. Well, no one else is giving us rules. This will be fine. We decide if they are legitimate for the list or not. No one's going to be like, I'm sorry, that wasn't part of the plan. Okay. Mine is, and I'm certain that this is a product that is available all throughout the world.
Right.
If we have international listeners. Nurofen, I don't know what brand makes Nurofen. Wouldn't be bad if it was actually Nurofen.
It is
makes
Nurofen.
Really?
Nurofen makes Nurofen. It's like labelled ibuprofen.
Okay. Well, Emma's done. Anyways, Nurofen came out with a bunch of specialized pain relievers. So I've been told, and a couple of my friends have said, well, have you tried Nurofen for period pain? And Nurofen actually got in trouble.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was in Australia or America.
I think it was Australia.
By the,
Governing body.
the governing body, like, is it called the Therapeutic Goods Association?
Something like that.
Yeah. Basically, they got hauled across the coals for saying that these ibuprofens could target certain areas
Yes.
when in fact they actually had nothing different in the ingredients.
They were exactly the same as plain ibuprofen.
Yeah, plain Nurofen, your regular Nurofen. Not even Nurofen Zavance.
What cracked me up is the period pain had a pink box.
So true, I didn't even think about that.
They're like, period pain, same drug, pink box.
Yeah.
Markup for women, extra money,
Because,
profit.
like when you take a drug, when you take like a painkiller, it's not like it goes like into your mouth and like in some cartoon style it goes like, I'm gonna go down to the pelvis and I will help your period pain. Like that's not what it happens. It goes to your nervous system.
Yeah, it goes
Correct?
it goes into
Yeah.
like membranes of your body, and then your body like through your circulatory system and other stuffs.
I'm so glad you're here. I don't know medical
it's
things.
just kind of like, I'm probably using the wrong terminology, but to make it like basic, it drags it throughout your whole body.
Yeah.
And your whole body gets like touches it.
And then it like goes, when it gets to the parts that are ouchy, as we said before, then it works. So it can't actually be like zoom down to the, the uterus and the ovaries and go, huh, you're in pain because of your period? There you go.
No, it's a smart drug. It knows where to go.
Oh, it has like tiny trackers.
It has
in
a GPS.
It's a drone drug. It's like, you control it from the outside.
It's got a GPS in it.
Ah.
Yeah,
So I'm eating tiny GPSs.
you are.
Anyway, so that one is pretty great. Like, there
That is
are,
glorious.
like, the disclaimer is there are some painkillers that, people do prescribe for period pain because they have an anti-inflammatory within them, which is often the case with period pain. Everything's kind of flared up. So they can help, like a naproxen or a naproxen.
I'm on naproxen.
Is it called naproxen? I think I'm saying it right. It's like naproxen or something.
It depends. It depends if it's like, I think naproxen is the generic name, and then naproxen is the brand name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just take them when I'm ouchy.
Yeah.
Because I had an inflamed shoulder and that's what she gave me, but I've also used it for period pain as well. So, yeah, it does the whole body.
Yep. So basically, Nurofen for period pain. I wonder what the other ones were because
They
I only
have
ever
backache. They had headache.
headache. Well, isn't that what a normal Nurofen is for?
Yes.
A headache?
Yes.
Don't we all take them for headaches?
Yes, and other stuff, but a lot of people are like, oh, headache, I will take a Nurofen. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But the thing is, they got hauled across the coals, but they are still, you can still get them from the supermarket.
Yeah, because they still have stock. They didn't destroy it all.
Oh.
I think.
I wonder, I should have actually researched this, but I'm stupid and
know.
didn't.
I don't know.
But I wonder if they actually have had to have taken them off the shelves, because they're still available.
I wonder if they've just stopped production instead of like taking them off the shelves.
I'm going to Google
They
why
should at
you,
least have put stickers on them being like, actually, just for all the things.
Yeah, I'm just going to... You do your next one, and I'm going to Google.
I'll do my next one while Emma does some Google. I put yoga down, which I'm kind of like, man, that was the whole premise of the podcast, but...
roll credits. We're done. Have you tried yoga? We're done.
Yeah, end of episode. Kidding. I was told to try yoga back when I started getting joint pain, but turns out I have hypermobility as part of my condition, and yoga is one of its aim is to increase flexibility, and my end of range is like at times twice what a normal person's is. So for me to do yoga, I'd literally be pushing my body to its extreme and actually causing damage. So yeah, yoga was a really dumb idea, and I'm glad I never did it. Well, I did it, but like it wasn't like my treatment plan.
Yeah. So yoga's, you know, the like ancient... Actually, isn't it not actually an ancient, like...
I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
I should have researched this stuff. Okay.
What's the story on the Nurofen?
Oh, I can't find something. This will be like a corrections corner, like my favourite murder. Like it'll be like update next episode.
Yeah, we'll touch on that next episode.
I was just going to say, so yoga's, you know, like it's like the relaxing art of stretching your muscles to...
mindfully at times as well.
To like hippie chanting music.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can do it in a really hot room.
Yeah.
Bikram
yoga. Hot yoga. And look, yoga works for a lot of my friends who are so-called normal to help them chill out. But for me, it's actually really stressful and painful. So, doesn't have approval for me.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, it can be it's a very low impact, soothing exercise. So for a lot of people with chronic pain who can't do a lot of hardcore exercise, like going to the gym, it can be really good. I have tried yoga like multiple times in my life, and I think it probably would be good. I meant to do a lot of stretches for my pelvic pain. Some of them relate to yoga, but my brain doesn't switch off. I have a very like active, terrible brain. Yeah. So I find I just get too bored in yoga, and I'm terrible at mindfulness, I'm terrible at meditation, so I'm terrible at yoga. So it really, for me...
Not a fan. I think at this point I will say that I think I can speak on behalf of Emma and I, saying that we're both high-functioning anxiety.
Oh, I hate the word high-functioning, but yes.
Like, as in, we go to work, we go to uni, we act normal, but actually our brain is like going at 1,000,000 miles per hour and everything's wrong.
It's very that type A personality.
Everything is wrong.
Where you're perfectionist.
Oh, yeah.
You strive too hard, you take on too much.
Yep.
And you watch it all collapse slowly.
It's actually such a cruel thing to be type A and be a perfectionist and have a chronic pain condition, because you can't do all the things, but your brain says you should do all the things, and if you can't, you're pathetic.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little thing to battle inside.
Yeah, like I recently had to cut down my hours at work, and for me to admit that to myself was really, really tough, but now it has been my saving grace.
Yeah, I dropped a shift at work because I'm part-time uni, part-time work, and I dropped a shift at work, and I'm blessed that my family were happy to help me out financially, and without them I don't know how I'd be kind of functioning, but without them I would have kept that shift and it would have just done such havoc to my brain and body. So I'm really lucky I had that option, and for me to admit that I couldn't do that shift and I had to drop back down was so hard, but you know, it happened.
Yeah. Just on the yoga note, I was talking to a friend about all the silly advice that we get given, and she had acne as a teenager, and I was like, I bet you people give you awful advice too. And she was like, do you know yoga was often given to me as an advice? You know, you need to de-stress.
Oh,
you need to
I
need to become one, I don't know, with something.
Become one with some deity of some sort.
Yeah, and so yoga, I think, is a catch-all. It's very that often misguided belief in Eastern medicine as a higher, better form of...
It's pure.
Yeah, it's pure, it's untouched. But when in fact, some of it is honestly made up recently.
It's butchered. Or it's been butchered and it's not its original state.
Yeah. exactly.
What's your next one?
My next one.
I'm just like so afraid of all the yoga instructors that are going to come get us.
No, I think we have been balanced enough.
We're trying to be very balanced. Like, it's great for some things, but for me.
We just both happen to be. It would have been better if one of us was pro yoga and we could have had like this epic fight. But
that would have been pretty cool. Maybe we have to have a yoga instructor on the show to like fight us.
like a live fight, like a live debate.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Who knows? Who knows where we'll take it? You good?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to figure out which one to do. Okay, I might do
You don't have to do them in order. You can just do whatever you want, man. I won't know.
Cool. I'm gonna say, so I did have yoga on my list, so now I only have 8 to
That's
give
okay.
you, but that's okay.
That's fine.
All right, my one, I have been a bit devious, and I have split one into 2.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
So I'll do this one, and then I'm actually going to do the opposite
Okay.
of it for my next one.
I like.
Just to be a bit devious. So this one is related specifically to pelvic pain and all that entails. And the first one is actually people saying that you should try some form of hormonal contraception, usually what we call the pill. So people going, have you tried the pill? Well, why are you laughing? Why does that firstly make you laugh?
Okay, that makes me laugh because why should they have any say over your reproductive rights?
Oh,
And secondly, I'm pretty
that's
sure...
not the answer I expected.
I'm pretty sure... Well, but it's to do with that, right? Like, why should you have a say over what I put in my body and my reproductive rights? But also, I'm pretty sure that'd be like the first thing a doctor would try if you had pelvic pain.
Oh, yeah. So usually people are like, have you tried the pill? And I would usually, nowadays, I was on the pill when I was 15.
Same.
I remember having really judgy thoughts about other girls being on the pill. And now I look back as like a grown-up feminist and I'm like, gosh, Emma, just shush.
Well, I was put on it that young because I had period pain.
Yeah. So basically, I've tried about 4 different types of pill.
4?
An IUD and a depot shot. And the depot shot didn't work. I had to go on the pill on top of it. Fun times. So I've kind of done nearly all of them.
Damn, except for the one where they coiled and they put it up there. And
No, that's an IUD.
Oh,
Yep, so I've done that.
I'm thinking of Implanon, which is a
Yes,
stuff you have in the arm.
Yes, I haven't had the implant on, which is the bar that goes in your arm. I haven't had... There's another one. It's on the tip of my tongue.
There's different ones they put up there. There's a coil one and there's the hormonal one as well for the IUD.
Yeah, I can't think of the other one that...
They got an injection, they've got 2 IUDs, they've got the Implanon, they've got all the pills.
Anywho.
But anyway.
So basically, I've tried a fair few of them. And for people to say, have you tried the pill? And then they say, I did that and my period pain stopped.
Yeah.
Or, so-and-so did that. My cousin did that, my friend did that, my daughter did that.
I think you've got a little bit more than just period pain.
Well, but even in the start, and even if people think that will cure your period pain, I find the idea of people specifically saying, try the pill, or I went on Yaz and this helped me, or I went on microgynon or Levelin, which are types of the contraceptive pill, and that helped me. I find that particularly galling because it shows a real lack of understanding of what the pill does.
Yes.
And unfortunately, this happens because people who use the pill for hormonal reasons, they will often not get a full education about which pill to choose and not given options by doctors. They'll just go, it's usually Yaz when it's a young girl too. I don't know why Yaz is...
I didn't get Yaz.
I know most people got Yaz.
Yeah, I got Levelin.
Same.
And I was on that for like 8 years or 5 years until I got my Implanon, and it was good until I kept vomiting it up because I had problems with my GI system.
You didn't vomit up the bar. It was in your arm, right?
No, you can't vomit up with the bar, which is why I have the bar in my arm.
But it made you vomit.
No, the bar didn't make me vomit.
Oh.
I was on the pill for like obvious reasons, and because I was having like tummy problems and I was getting really nauseous, I'd vomit all the time.
Oh.
So my GP and I were like, that's not a good idea, let's put something in your arm instead. Really good choice.
Oh, so then it has helped you. Yeah. Sorry, I got a little bit confused.
That's the other thing to say. Like, the problem with the pill, it doesn't just fix period pain. It's also for like reproductive stuff and
acne.
And acne. And some people who have pelvic pain actually get really vomity and diarrhea.
And a whole host of things.
And then it doesn't work because it doesn't stay in your system. So it's actually not coverall like people seem to think.
Yeah, and I think, there's a lack of education about what pill to choose. I always tell people, if you're going to go, ask your doctor to show you that they sometimes have a sheet of all the different pills.
I know that
And you
one.
should get your hormones tested and make sure you're getting something that's going to work with your hormones, your hormonal levels, so it's actually going to help with your pain if your pain is caused by too much estrogen or too much progesterone, for example. Long ramble, but basically, people to just say, have you tried the pill, is just really like, that's a big catch-all for something that is very complex. And also now that I'm like 25, it's like, really, if someone's like that, it's like, girl, I've been around the block and twice by now. Really, that's, like you said, that is usually the first thing that you get given when you have period pain. It's usually have some naproxenic, have some Nurofen or Panadol, and, go on the pill to help you.
Yeah.
So,
which then, surprise, surprise, doesn't all go away.
and pills react differently for different people. That is the biggest one too. You are only you. You are not somebody else. Even if, you could have a twin and react differently on different medication, because your biology is only the same up until a point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll react well to a drug and sometimes you won't. Like, one time I had an antibiotic and I was fine. The next time I had it, I had anaphylaxis and stopped breathing. So, drugs don't always react the same way either. So one drug is not going to fix everything.
Yeah. So, and what I found particularly in high school, what I found particularly kind of like, I was having trouble with my periods mostly then. It wasn't quite chronic pelvic pain then. I'd have all my friends talking about the pills they were on and being really gleeful about it, and I would just be so bummed because I'd be like, I'm on this thing. I wasn't on it for contraceptive reasons. Sure, that was a good secondary thing for me. It was I'm on the pill. This sucks. It wasn't a gleeful thing for me either.
Whereas your healthy mates are like, oh my god, can you believe my parents let me?
Yeah. So that's my number. Are we up to 3? Oh, we're not counting.
I think that's number
great.
2, because my number 2 is yoga. So this is number 3.
Yeah. Maths I am good at.
Don't laugh, Emma, but I was told to try magnets.
Magnets, like the things you put on the fridge?
Yes, magnets. You can get...
Are you a fridge?
No. I may be the size of a fridge. I'm not actually. That's a bad joke.
Maybe a bar, a mini fridge, a cute bar fridge.
I think I'm
you don't have the figure of a fridge.
Do you know those camper vans and they have skinny fridges? I'm one of those. Yeah.
Are you stainless steel?
I am. No, I'm really not. I'm lino. That rips and has been in the sun too much. Yeah, so I was told to try magnets, which is
What would you do with the magnets?
So you get magnets in blankets. You get them in braces for your joints. So you might have a knee brace that strengthens the external muscles by wrapping it really tight and has magnets in it. Or you can get bangles with magnets in it. And there are people who have told me that you can buy a bangle with a magnet in it and it will help you with knee pain.
I don't understand how it's helping you with the knee pain. Is it it's helping some
It's voodoo.
So it's helping the hippie
Voodoo.
ions in the air.
Yeah.
Magnetize, that stuff?
Yeah. It's voodoo.
That sounds like the stupid stuff that people tell autistic kids to use.
Yes.
Magnet.
Magnets.
I was thinking do you rub the magnet on your elbow?
No. It's it's in a cloth thing. It's not even exposed magnet. It's in a cloth.
Do you wear it all the time?
I don't know. Someone who's tried magnets and it's worked for them, can you tell us how and why?
I just don't understand why magnets would be I don't get it.
I don't know. Someone was like, how I'm going to make money?
That's when people make they have a poor understanding of science, and then they use magnets in the air, or I don't know, something like the magnetic field that we all live in Earth, and they've decided to
I don't know.
That reminds me, my mum recently bought me a Himalayan rock salt lamp, and I had already told her that it's it doesn't have any proof that it works, and apparently Himalayan salt does not come from Himalaya as well, but it's so pretty. It's really nice. So it's a really cute lamp that I have now, but I was because it's meant to help with allergies and air in asthma and things like that. And it's just someone has gotten this idea about what rock salt can do and just put it to another level. And they say stuff like it helps with the ions. Like they use sciencey words, but then I Googled some like science blogs to find out skeptically, does it make any sense? And no, it does not. So I feel like that's what they did with magnets. They were like, magnets are a science thing. Let's try magnets.
Yep. So that was my number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is my phone keeps locking, and it makes getting to my list harder. Okay, so my number 3 is the opposite of trying the pill. And this is something I have encountered very lately with, as I've got, me and my friends are getting older, and they try different things. It's coming off the pill, and no longer, Georgia is smiling very much behind her teacup. So yeah, coming off the pill or any contraception as a way to be a bit more natural
Because
and without...
It's the imbalance of modern society.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a elongated metaphor for how we have too much medicine in our bodies. You know, we have very old-fashioned ideas of what the pill does to our body and how it can distort things. For example, you know, I always had the idea that the pill could make you infertile, or it could reduce your fertility, and that you shouldn't skip your periods.
Which
now,
is fine.
I'm not recommending people just like willy-nilly skip their periods. Like, don't mess up your cycle just because you can. But say, for example, I bicycle, not bicycle, hate bikes, but I bicycle, which means I only have my period every 2 months, because that's as long as I can keep it for. Otherwise, Arnie Flo's like, I'm coming through.
I used to do every 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. I used to be able to do 3 months. But basically, it's okay to stop your period
with
for
your
moments.
doctor's advice, obviously.
Yeah. And my gynecologist explains it as, well, when you have a pregnancy, your period stops for 9 months and then you are okay. So it's not a big deal. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so this idea that it could make you infertile. Not that I have friends that are really worried about their fertility, but again, this is their idea, and it's not them individually, it's the blanket idea that if you are hormonally out of whack, or you are experiencing depression or heightened emotions, that coming off the pill or any hormonal contraception will actually flush all of that bad stuff out, that bad juju out, and you'll be better. And I'm finding this really quite like emotionally taxing to take right now, because I constantly have to be on the pill. It is my saving grace. I actually, contrary to like what people would assume, I actually started having my chronic period pain when I was off all contraception. I had a break for about 6 months, and I actually started having pain within that.
Wow.
So that's not what you assume. You assume maybe you had too much stuff going on in your body.
Not to like intrude, but
Please intrude.
my degree is weird. We do all kinds of. Sorry, that was my laptop with an email. I apologize.
How dare you?
So with my degree, we do all kinds of weird stuff, and in one course we were looking at like bad juju science, and according to this like article we looked at for that lecture, a lot of the reason why we have our period every 28 days was to do with the Catholic Church. And the story goes, I can't confirm if this is true or not, but this is what I was told. The story goes that the church was uncomfortable with women going so long without a bleed because that's unnatural. Yep. And the reason why they timed it to be 28 days, as well as that being like kind of your cycle naturally.
Sorry, when you're saying they timed it, do you mean the manufacturers of the contraceptive
pill?
pill?
Yeah, the people who made
I was
the
thinking
pill.
I was like, the Catholic Church has domain over my cycle? How did they manage that?
No. So the reason why the manufacturers of the pill, the scientists who did the thing and the stuff,
did the technical terms?
Yeah.
Thing and stuff?
Yeah, basically. So the idea was that they made the pill include sugar tablets in part because the church thought it was, too unnatural to have women not bleed. And they think that with the pill for certain women, it can reduce the risk of some pelvic cancers. And apparently the way they designed the pill to give this bleed actually meant that more women were likely to have issues. And
the pill has changed a lot since it first came in. So
absolutely.
A lot of those issues that used to be a consideration, like cancers, like infertility, that was when it first came out and they were still trialing it.
What was that, the 60s?
gosh, I should know that, shouldn't I? I'm going to say like the 60s,
I
maybe a
feel
bit
like
earlier.
It's just it's like after World War II.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to say like 50s, 60s.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, it was pretty
It's pretty bad that I actually don't know that, considering how much of my life I owe to the pill.
I think we can like basically say it became mainstream by the 90s.
Yeah, definitely.
And they've got new pills all the time coming out. But yeah, so there was
like the mini pill, for instance.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool invention. But the idea is, that some of the reasons behind the way it was designed had nothing to do with science and the church, which is like scary ass.
So I'm finding that, I have these friends that are coming off the pill because they are having issues and they're finding a lot of relief in terms of their hormonal range and their mood. And that's great, but it often makes me go, oh, yeah, I have to be on the pill and I'm really happy that I'm on it. Sometimes I have to change my dose because I break through because my body loves to bleed. But, do I not? What's that quote?
Love,
it's like,
keep bleeding.
What's
keep bleeding, love.
What's that quote where it's like it's something like, you stab me, do I not bleed? Like that old quote?
Isn't that from like Shakespeare?
Yeah.
I don't know it. But
Okay,
I know
anyways.
what you mean.
Let's just say it's like, when I prick you, do I not bleed or something? I don't know, something like that.
as well, kind of thing, yeah.
Anyways, what I was getting at is that like those conversations now, I'm finding it's very like, people are also, it's kind of like the same thing where it's like, oh, screw pads and tampons, try the moon cup, this very like new agey new stuff, which is great. And it always comes back to, that works good for that one person. That means it works good for that one person.
Yeah.
It's like so I work with autistic children with autism. And there's a saying that if you know one child with autism, you know one child with autism,
Yes.
To do blanket statements like that can be really harmful. So that's my rant about the pill, both trying it and coming off it.
Well, mine's more voodoo.
I love voodoo. And we probably should say that's probably a bit mean to like people who, I don't know. There are African countries that legit practice voodoo.
Ooh.
They're probably not listening to this podcast.
I don't know what to say instead, but...
Juju? Let's go with juju. Juju sounds like a made-up word.
Like magic science. Is that better? Magic science? Sorry, Emma's holding a box in front of her face to get out of the sun.
It works.
My number 4 is crystals. Like, wearing them as a necklace.
Oh, like a nice rose quartz.
Yeah. Just wearing around your neck to fix, your genetic illness. Just crystals. Have them in your bed. Put them in your bath.
Because different crystals mean different things.
Yeah.
All I can really remember is like rose quartz is love.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So the idea is like crystals will fix all your problems.
Is there a particular health crystal that we should know?
I don't know. I just saw it on Tumblr once and I was like, no thanks. And then I unfollowed that blog.
There's like this thing that young mothers use, or new mothers I should say, to stop their babies teething. It's like an amber bracelet or necklace, and they swear that it helps.
Yeah. They're like,
that's always
salivate all
interesting.
over it.
Like I have very logical, rational family members who have used it, and they're like, it legit helps. I feel like it's along the same lines.
Yeah.
Amber, rose quartz,
So the idea
the
is...
crystals that I can't remember.
So the idea this person was sprouting was that if you wore this like crystal around your neck, you'd get good karma and therefore would get better.
Oh, so it's not like even, it like regulates your blood or something.
I don't know. It's probably about ions as well. Who knows?
Just karma.
Yeah, just all the things and the...
Isn't karma in the afterlife?
I don't know.
So you'll be in pain this life, but the next life you're fine.
I don't know. They were just like, wear crystals. And I was like, no thanks, fan. No thanks, fan.
Alright, so we're up to your next one.
No. I just spoke about crystals.
Oh.
It's your go. It's your go.
What should I do next?
I don't know.
My next one is one that I was given basically I was about to say like my entire pain career.
It is a career though.
It is a career. I have a degree in having pain. A PhD in pain. And I probably, if I went back to my gynecologist, they would still say this. And this is for the ones with pelvic pain out there again. It's that I've had 2 laparoscopies and, like a colonoscopy and all the oscopies.
I've had a couple oscopies as well.
Years
They're fun.
Yeah, years apart. So I've had these oscopies years apart. But I still could have invisible endometriosis that they just can't find or see. So they don't want to rule out endometriosis just in case, even though we're like 110% sure I do not have endometriosis, I could still have endometriosis. So endometriosis is basically where your uterine lining falls away and kind of becomes like scar tissue almost.
Doesn't it just grow on random stuff like your bowels as well?
Yep, and you know what the really scary part is? And I don't want to scare anyone who has endometriosis, but it can actually grow in your lungs, which is intense. I know, right?
I know there's a story I heard about somebody who had issues with their bowels, so they kept doing colonoscopies, but they found that the problem was actually on the outside of the bowels, which you can't see with colonoscopy. They're like weird tissue problems on the outside. Like, ugh.
And endometriosis is so common. I have to say, the more I talk and become aware of pelvic pain, the more I'm just straight up with people. Like, I could just like walk down the road and find about 3 people with endometriosis. It is so common, and it is a huge issue. So like, it's really common, but at the same time, to obviously have an issue, like I know someone else who really thinks that she has polycystic ovarian syndrome and just really wants to get to the bottom of it, but a GP for ages would just be like, no, it's endo, you have endo.
So your bad piece of advice is it just has to be endo?
Yeah, basically.
Ouch.
So that's more of a
Dismissive.
medical advice that probably doctors will give you, or you might have the odd person. You might have the odd person who's like, oh, but it still could be endo and you just can't see it, or it hasn't grown there, or it's, you know, just chilling somewhere that you haven't realised.
I mean, it could legitimately be endo, but like, don't dismiss it as only being that, I guess.
Well, I feel like personally, from my experience, I definitely do not have endometriosis. It's too conclusive. I don't have enough symptoms.
Okay.
And then to be told it still might be endo one day, it's like, buddy, it's not. If I end up having endometriosis, I would love that, because there is so much research, so many treatments for endo. I would love to have endometriosis. Like, it would really, really suck, but also it would be a clear diagnosis. So to be told that, and for me to know I'm not the only one that someone's been like, oh, it just could be endo, you just can't see it. That's really awful, unsolicited advice.
Kind of very
Thanks,
dismissive,
mate.
isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You've got like really like real hard truths, and
No, I'm leaving some of the light ones.
I've got all my light ones here first,
That's okay.
and my last one's like,
We're ebony and ivory. We're making it work.
we are. Okay, so my number 5 is coconut oil.
Delicious.
Delicious. So the idea that it's like me being cheeky and breaking like diet changes up into like different things, but coconut oil for your joint health.
And what is it meant to do?
It's like fish oil apparently.
Oh, so they've found a link between coconut oil and bone structure and stuff?
I don't know. I just
not.
tuned out because I was like, I don't like the taste. I like to use it to shave my legs.
Ooh, that's cool.
It really messes up your razor, but it makes your legs really soft. Anyway, I don't think just spooning a whole lot of coconut oil and swallowing it's going to fix my problems, but you know, there's people out there who are like, I swear by it for like colds and fevers and you know.
It's one of those, it's like cod liver oil.
Yes.
For the new generation.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure it's great for like some stuff, but
I would
I
imagine
do not approve.
that would be quite sweet and quite awful to swallow.
With coconut oil, there's this other thing called pulling.
Oh yeah, they make your teeth white.
Yes, but there's like, I'm sure it's good for that, but there's some people that think coconut oil pulling will detox you.
Oh.
And the detoxification will fix you.
Do you want to tell us about why you don't need to detox anything in your body?
You have organs that's all they do. And unless they're broken, and you will know if they're broken, you will know because you will be in an ambulance or in hospital, pretty much, or you'll know they're starting to get broken because your doctor's like concerned. Liver and kidneys do that kind of detox stuff. So like your liver is for like chemical stuff, and I'm pretty sure your kidney kind of filters your blood for that stuff. They both just kind of get all the bad stuff out of your body and you pee it out and stuff, and all of that stuff. You don't need a detox. Coconut oil as a detox, you don't need a detox.
Do you think that just made me think, do you think that there are coconut oil enemas out there?
Probably.
But coconut oil is very thick and very sweet. Do you reckon people say to use it like to have a spoonful, or do they mean use it in your baking and cooking?
Both. Like, there's some people who like get a spoonful of it and like swish it around your mouth and then spit that out. Don't swallow it, because if you swallow it, you get the detox. You get all the impurities in your body. So if you spit it out, you get rid of the impurities.
Because impurities are in your saliva.
Yeah, basically.
Oh gosh. Like, I know coconut oil does have good health benefits. Like, it's a good oil. But I don't know. That also makes me think of coconut water. Apparently coconut water is terrible for you because it's still sugar.
Really?
Like, you shouldn't... Basically, it was like people who were going, I'm not going to have regular water. I'm going to have coconut water.
Oh, no. I put it in my smoothies when I make them.
Coconut oil?
Water.
All the coconuts.
Just like a little bit to make it blend better, because I don't really want milk in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have coconut water. I don't drink it instead of water because I don't like the taste of it on its own. Tastes weird to me.
Did either of us put paleo down?
No.
I wish we had, because we could go on a paleo rant.
Although I have a friend that paleo legitimately does help, but I don't think it would help me.
That pause is just me going, ew. I don't like half the stuff that paleo people have to eat. So much meat. Well, I'm not really a meat person.
What's your next one, my dear?
No, I want to talk and ramble more about eating meat. Thanks. My next one is dramatic drum roll. In particular, now that there's a caveat to this. Okay. Caveat to this. People suggesting certain vitamins for you to take.
No, I love that.
And you taking that on a whim. You taking that as truth and going, oh, I'll try vitamin D or I'll try vitamin B, without actually having the blood test or an iron tablet in particular for people who lose, blood through your menses. People saying have an iron tablet without going to a doctor and getting the blood test to say, hey, well, you are actually a bit low in iron, have an iron tablet.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to just pee it out.
Yeah, exactly. So because just having a general multivitamin can actually be worse for your health. They're actually finding those type of things are worse. So just having a so-called woman's multivitamin because you have woman's issues is actually a really stupid thing to do. Can I say stupid? I don't know. A silly thing to do.
Well, it's kind of like that works when you have genuine deficiencies diagnosed or you are unable to have a balanced diet at that time.
Yeah.
It'd be different if you were like struggling to eat or drink and you had like none of the vitamins or nutrients, but if you're eating a fairly good diet, it's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, and you don't know that it's actually targeting the thing you need. Go to the doctor. Go to a nutritionist.
Apparently some of the vitamins that you take actually don't even get absorbed. Like, even if you had a bad diet, you just piss them out.
Oh, nice.
Very expensive pee.
Yeah. And within that, I wanted to say that what I've often been recommended is magnesium.
Yeah, me too.
And magnesium would be great, but none of my issues have ended up being muscular. And I've tried magnesium oil and magnesium powder and magnesium tablets. So I've already been there, done that, buddy. Your advice is way too late. But then secondly, once I explain that my issues are actually not muscular in the slightest, they're all nervous system-y because it's fun, magnesium would not do anything because magnesium is for muscles.
I tried magnesium and it actually made me just feel worse and fatigued. So I'm assuming I was not deficient in magnesium.
It was really nice to use the oil and, like, massage my muscles with magnesium oil because it was just like an essential oil. It was nice. So if you want to use magnesium or if you do use magnesium, I hope that you've had all your blood tested to make sure that that's actually, or, you've got a good, legit, backed up, evidence-based reason for using it.
Yeah, because you don't want to, mess your stuff up.
There's, some things where it's like, primrose oil generally can be good for women with period pain. Not period pain, breast pain. Which is something else that I also have, which is really disconnected and weird. But it will not work for everyone. Again, it's just coming back to do your research.
Yeah.
Don't take blanket statements for truth.
Well, I have another, offhandish weird comments of you should drink green tea.
Oh, again, with the Eastern influence. Green tea.
Yeah, green tea, because the antioxidants. I mean, it's delicious and I enjoy it, but, once again, it's not going to change my DNA.
Do you remember that ad that was on when we were younger and it has this kid going, antioxidants? and you can't say
Yes.
antioxidants. Was that a green tea ad? Was that
That's-
just a regular tea ad?
I don't know, it was something about antioxidants. But yeah, you know how I like to consume my antioxidants? Through red wine. I'm covered. I'm kidding, I don't drink that much of
And
it.
you happen to be a person who is thoroughly obsessed with all kinds of herbal and black tea. So for you to be like, nah, mate, to green tea,
Yeah.
you know, what's the dealio with telling someone green tea is good for your pain?
So the idea is that your body is suffering another imbalance of like not enough antioxidants, and that green tea will like,
And that's why you got pain.
yeah, and like the idea is that green tea also helps to detox the system. Rolls eyes. Or a lot of people get told to try green tea for weight loss. It's just like a blanket statement.
Is it like instead of eating, you just drink green tea?
Yeah.
That's awful advice.
It's really unhealthy and, you know, not a really good strategy long term. I mean, I drink green tea. I like it. But it's not going to fix my pain.
I guess it could be calming.
Well,
But so's like eating chocolate.
yeah, I know. Like, if I need to like have some me time, I'll drink some green tea and just sit in silence. But in terms of muscle pain and dislocations, not really sold. What's your next
Interesting.
one?
My next one is, where should I go? How many do we have left? Do we only have 3 left?
We have 3 or 4 left, depending.
Oh yeah, I'm missing one because I had yoga as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I knew that would happen.
I'll go for the next one. This is a bit hippy dippy. Not super hippy dippy because I've been told this by psychologists too.
Okay.
Is the practice that's the practice du jour at the moment of mindfulness.
Yes.
Mindfulness being that, you know, psychological, I guess we could say, words are failing me.
Okay, do you want me to like...
Yes.
Okay, so mindfulness is the art of being in the now, non-judgmentally.
Yes. So for chronic pain, I have been asked by a few health professionals if mindfulness would help me. And within that, you know, I think a lot of people with chronic pain use mindfulness techniques unconsciously to be in the now. We push away our pain, and when you notice the pain, when you actually stay focused on it, that's when it can feel worse. But to get through our daily lives, we don't realize how much we actually mentally push it to the side to continue
Yes.
on.
And
So I think we do it.
Well, mindfulness is actually not pushing it away.
Okay.
So the non-judgmental part of mindfulness, I thought the same too, but I had a debate with a lecturer who turns out she wrote the book on mindfulness for pain. So she
There's a
kind
book?
of... Yeah, it's about to be published.
Only $49.99 or something.
But she's actually a little bit legit. Like, it's a legit science, but it's so individual. So for people that it works for, it changes lives. Didn't really work for me. It's been pretty good for my anxiety. But in terms of pain, not so much.
Oh, so maybe this one, it was the way it was structured to me. Maybe, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. And, like, you said yourself that stuff like yoga and being in the now, and you can't settle your brain.
Yeah. Well, the way I was asked to help with the pain, to kind of look at it non-judgmentally, it was like, notice the pain. And I was like,
I don't want to.
I do notice the pain. Thanks for that. Yes, it's there. And I'm actually not okay with it. Like, maybe that's part of my problem. Maybe it's like that I'm like too like emotionally like, pain, I hate you. But for me to be like, I notice the pain, it's there. When it's bad enough that I don't push it to the back of my mind and I notice it, that's when something is wrong. I can understand the idea of being in the now, notice it, being non-judgmental, keeping calm about when you've got pain. But this idea of noticing it really irked me. And I use mindfulness for mental health issues too. So I can see it working for one way, but I find it galling, particularly working for pain.
It's so dependent.
But
as
you kind of
well.
killed my...
No. Like, it's very dependent on the individual. I would love to hear from people that they found it really helpful. I tried it, but I'm just such a neurotic personality that for me, it's not... Like, it would help if I could actually commit myself to it. It's a massive commitment. and I'm just not really down for it. Like, apparently if you really commit to it and like spend hours and hours a week doing it, it improves you. But if
Who
you
has time for that?
I know, but like apparently if you half-ass it, you're not going to get any results. And I'm like, no thanks.
That's how we live our life, half-assing it.
No thanks, fam. No thanks.
Who are these people?
Like, before we like start throwing things, I'll move on. Kind of back on the magnesium oil, just essential oils in general,
So what are some essential oils?
like lavender oil.
Olive oil. No.
Olive oil could be. I don't know.
Olive oil is really good for like a hair treatment.
Really?
Mm.
Does it come out of your hair though?
Yeah, it's kind of like coconut oil. You got to really wash it.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, like
I probably muttered that because I had my hands in front of my mouth. Anyways.
with essential oils, it's like you should just apply them to your skin and your body will like sing and stuff.
So this is like lavender, peppermint.
Yeah. Or like orange and, you know, lemongrass and stuff.
Yeah, all of the oils.
I mean, I like...
So if you had like a painful knee,
Yeah.
you apply like peppermint oil and it will help.
Yes.
Okay.
There's like pain spray, which some of them are just essential oils. And like they kind of help because you rub that area, but you could also just get some water and rub that area and it might do the same thing. I don't know, like I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm just saying it didn't work for me.
I can understand if you get chronic migraines, you know, if they're triggered by certain smells. I can understand that maybe certain scents would help.
Neutralize the, yeah.
Or, you know, it's something else to focus on, or they can be quite
Yeah.
relaxing.
Yeah, and like what I will say as a caveat is that I love essential oils burned in my room to like chill out. Like Emma can vouch, like we met up last week and she found me in a candle shop buying wax melts. So like I'm a fan.
I vouched that. Yes, that was true.
I'm a fan of smell stuff, but yeah, not for like fixing my condition, more for like it smells nice and I find it relaxing.
I can't like rub orange on my pelvis and it helps.
Can you imagine if you just
I was
cut
going to
op-
say
just
other
cut
body
open-
parts, but that's probably a bit too
Oh,
explicit.
that would be a bit tingly and burny.
Oh, that would burn so much.
It's like the green tea body wash that people were like, yeah, there's this body wash that's like green tea and mint or something. And apparently people were using it and it started burning their nether regions.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because mint is so strong.
Yeah. So there was like heaps of people complaining that it burned their genitalia, and that was a bit of a scandal recently.
I mean, just to say, should I even bother going into that?
No.
If you are actually, well, it's a good point. If you're having pain around your vulva or vagina, or I'm assuming this might happen for people with penises as well, but you actually should only use water. You
Yes.
should try and stay away from soaps because
Yes.
irritants can make things worse.
And like,
Fun facts with Emma.
unless you've been told by a doctor that you have a pH imbalance, don't put soap there that is meant for there. Like that Vagisil and stuff, like
Yes, don't do it.
don't do it.
No.
Don't do it unless
You're-
you're told you need to.
Yeah, because your body does it yourself, kind of like the detoxification liver stuff.
I mean, like the story goes that people who have like imbalances due to like thrush or something, that can be helpful then.
When your doctor says, use this.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, what are we up to? We're just getting so tangential. I love it.
Well, it'd be boring if we just said 1, da-da-da, 2,
True.
da-da-da,
True.
3, da-da-da. It'd be like a 5-minute podcast.
I think it's your turn because I just said essential oils.
Where am I up to?
I don't know.
I've only got 2 left.
Okay.
I think I'll do the enraging one right now, and then I'll end on something like a bit more fun.
Sounds good.
So the enraging one is one that legitimately most people I know have pelvic pain, period pain, any kind of chronic pelvic pain issues will have been told. So the thing that is really galling and that a lot of women, most women I know have been told, and I have been told this multiple times, is why, if you just get pregnant and have a baby, it can cure your pain.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that?
Well, what if I don't want a baby, Emma? What do I do next?
Well, you just you get pregnant and then you just give it away.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds really autonomous of them to say.
And no, they don't actually say that last bit, but they'll just say, well, if you get pregnant or you want to have a baby, that can actually help things. There are multiple reasons why that is awful advice. number one, and probably the biggest one, is that you might not want children at that present time. Or ever. And that is sort of linked into another reproductive rights issue, whereas I know quite a few number of women who have very severe pain, and their pain actually would be solved if they could have a hysterectomy, but they are not allowed to because they are too young, I'm using air quotes, and they might want a baby someday even though they don't want one now, which is very hard to take. Now, I'm someone who does want children one day, but I don't want to get pregnant right now. So that advice, even to me, is quite galling. The other issue is having a baby to get rid of your pain. That's awful advice. You probably shouldn't be a parent if you want to do that. Like, that's like not a good reason. Like wanting to have a baby because you know your window of fertility is closing. That's fair enough. But being like, I'm going to solve my pain by bringing a child into the world that I need to take care of. We need to have more purposeful, legit, safe parenting going on.
Well, what if you're gay and you don't want to get pregnant through that kind of method?
Do you mean like having IVF?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Well, why? You know, like if they don't want a kid and they don't want to do IVF, like just going to someone who's gay and being like, have a baby is a bit dismissive as well. Is it not?
Oh, yes, I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
So being like, you know, if you were someone who, you know, for example, was lesbian and did not want to get pregnant at all, then assuming you were straight and saying, have a baby.
Yeah, just get a penis and chuck it in there.
Yeah. And then the other part that's really awful is that women and people like me with issues, I should say,
Issues.
people with reproductive issues or gynecological issues or pelvic pain issues, they will usually have, unfortunately, a higher risk of miscarriage, ectopic pregnancies.
Which can kill you.
Yep. And generally not being able to get pregnant, so infertility as well. So the idea that that's a logical solution that has legitimately been given to people, it's such a bumpy road. Say, for example, you went, okay, I will try this. I happen to be at a place in my life where I'm ready to have children.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to do that. There's such a rocky road even to get there that your infertility or fertility issues can make your pain worse.
Yeah.
And actually a lot of women who, which is why me being young makes it, and not having given birth, quite an interesting case, is that lots of women who end up having vaginismus or vulvodynia, which is pain in the vulva or vagina, is because they've had some trauma at birth.
Yeah.
That's the most common way, but there increasingly are a population of young women who have not given birth.
I've heard that.
Who are having these issues. Just a disclaimer on that. But yeah, so like you could have all these issues and then you could have a traumatic birth that triggers another pain condition. So really, really having a baby is like the most patriarchal, sexist, silly advice that you could give someone.
It's a very like final decision that should not be pushed upon a person.
And just a huge reproductive rights issue.
Absolutely.
I could ramble all day about it.
Yeah.
So that's probably my last enraging one. My last one I'll make funny.
Okay, so I'm going to combine two because they're pretty much like very similar because they're both diety stuff.
That's my last one. Okay.
No. These are like specific two things. Natural remedies like coriander tea. There's like a tea that you can buy from a tea shop, which I won't name because of reasons that I could get in trouble. But they sell a tea for pelvic pain.
Oh, really? No one's unsolicitedly recommended it
It's
to
like
me.
coriander seeds. And it tastes terrible.
I'm actually intolerant to coriander.
That's hilarious.
But coriander is... Why would you want that in a tea? That's so gross.
It is disgusting. It was really gross. Yeah, so like that's one. And I had another friend who's like, have you tried juicing? You know, like getting fruit and just juicing it and drinking it. I mean, sure, fam. Sure.
Don't you know that bananas have vitamin B in them?
But anyway, they're just some weird offhanded comments.
Juicing. I don't really like juices. You needed to know that I didn't like juices. I would just be like, I don't like juice, mate. My last one is also diet. And I would say that there's this new thing now that like people say that, you know, a lot of conditions can be linked back to your gut flora being imbalanced and all the modern diet. There are like legit things within that.
It's just
but I was told
taken
like,
too far.
I was told like that I should look at my diet by someone who was very aware that I actually had gone to a nutritionist and an allergist and had done an intolerance diet for an incredibly long time. I ate beige food for like 6 months. It was awful.
Yeah.
And it, you know, now that I have painful bladder syndrome, interstitial cystitis, S words, there are actually things I can do in my diet to help.
For like the acidity.
Yeah, for acidity, for example, I have to stop drinking tea, which is very sad.
Just drinking tea as we speak.
Sometimes you just got to live your life. You know, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. Did you say that the other day?
I think so.
I think it's been in my head. Got to risk it to get the tea and the biscuit. Yeah, so...
Don't tell me what to eat, because no.
But also, like, people when they're like, just go gluten-free. Like, it's, once again, it's that advice that's like, maybe I'll go get a allergy test to see whether I'm celiac or... What's the other one? It's like your...
Lactose intolerant.
No, but there's a type of... can have like gluten sensitivities without being celiac, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a new fandangled one. But so yeah, for people to be like, I went gluten free and it stopped me being so tired and fatigued. And it's like, cool, you probably have a gluten sensitivity. I may not have a gluten sensitivity.
Well, I went to an allergist and got all the tests done, and I wasn't allergic to anything. Like my arm had like 20 stabs on it where they put like...
They stabbed you?
Yeah, it was a prick test.
I was being silly.
Well, yeah, they like put little holes in your skin and then put essence of whatever it is into the skin hole. Mm-hmm. And they compare it to like a control histamine, which is like, an histamine is just, it's like a thing that's going to make your skin react, and you take antihistamines for allergies. Mm-hmm. So my histamine thing reacted and had a little skin discoloration, but nothing else did. And the allergist was like, let's just put you on this crazy hippie diet for like 6 months where you're going to cry at the dinner table because you're sick of eating potatoes with no skin and boiled chicken. And long story short, it didn't help. And I was like super depressed and I lost a lot of weight, and yeah, it was not a good thing because I really love food. Yeah. And having that taken away from me actually really upset me.
And I think diet is something that you can change very easily. So it can be some advice that can be really good, but people will just throw it at you. And it's like, my issue doesn't come from I will not be cured by me giving up tea. It will just help. Yeah. But it will not and cure me. And sometimes just why I still drink it.
And sometimes you got to eat the thing that might make you a little bit sicker because you just got to live. Yeah.
And, if you don't have an anaphylactic reaction, obviously, to something, and if you just have an intolerance or you should avoid a certain food, I'm not gonna, if someone makes me like food that has tomato in it, I'm okay enough, it doesn't affect me enough that I'm gonna be like, I will not say no.
But like if you had celiac where your body literally
anaphylaxis,
where you like literally like your body destroys itself, like you're gonna be like, no thanks to bread, but I'm not allergic to anything except for one antibiotic, which I stopped breathing. So I'm going to eat all the things and drink all the stuffs.
That's so good.
It is kind of nice.
I wish I was you.
Well, there's no evidence at this time that I believe in.
It sounds like you've done all of the things to check it. If you've done an intolerance diet plus an allergy test.
I've lost count of all the specialists I've seen. Man, I should have episode.
Oh my gosh, we should have put on there. Have you seen a specialist?
Yeah. Seen all the specialists, mate. Like for each body part that had problems. Turns out it's the whole thing, my DNA.
It's like I'm like a specialist.
Well, I did a lot of research as well once I knew my condition into like any evidence of dietary stuff, and except for my low blood pressure, which is like consume more salt, there's no evidence.
Oh my gosh, can I have that problem? I love salt.
It is kind of great that I'm like reading the back of labels and it's like, this is high in sodium, and I'm like, oh well, that's fine. Anyway, so here's my like last one that I really want to have at home. So as I said, I have a DNA genetic thing, which my collagen is produced badly. So basically the recipe for my collagen has like no eggs in it, and it's like a really rubbish cake.
What does collagen do?
So collagen is like a connecting tissue that makes up lots of tissues in your body.
I just mostly know the word from like plastic surgery.
Yeah, kind of. So like collagen is in your skin, it's in your tendons, it's in your muscle, it's in your organ tissue, it's in the linings of your muscles and organs. And mine is rubbish. So if I like tear it up from just living, like it really hurts, and that's why I'm in pain. Because I have like little micro tears that are cellular that don't come up in scans.
Yay!
Anyway, I was told by like a bunch of people who were really well-meaning, who were like, oh, does that mean that you can just take supplements of collagen and you'll be fixed?
This is the sound of Emma narrowing her eyes.
One major problem is there's like so many kinds of collagen. Like I think at least 20 or maybe just under 20. I don't know. I forget. My brain is, I don't remember. I'm going to have someone who's like a medicine person come and correct me. But collagen supplements may only be one or two types, and it may not be the type I have problems with. That's the first problem. Second problem is I already have collagen in my system. I'm not missing it. And you can't replace it by swallowing a tablet. It's like being like, why don't you just replace your blood with a blood tablet? That's the equivalent of it. Like, no.
Coming soon, blood tablets. That would solve so many people's problems. Like, you know, if like someone's lost a lot of blood in an accident and they just took a blood tablet.
You just got really loud. You're like, oh my God.
Sorry, I got very excited.
Yeah, you can't, like, collagen supplements may make your hair shiny, but it's not going to fix my thin hair that keeps falling out. Like, it's not going to fix it. And, yeah, that kind of sucks because people, like, just won't actually sit and listen to me explain it. They just jump straight to that. And when I say no, they're like, oh, you don't want to get better, you're not willing to try things. And it's like, well, actually I spoke to a couple of specialists and they all said that for my condition there is no treatment, there's no evidence for what treatments works, we don't know why people get it, we just know it's genetic and it's handed down. There's very little to no research going on. There's a form of my condition that is vascular, which is like your veins and your heart and all your kind of, you know, blood pumpy stuff. And people with vascular EDS actually die. And we don't know how to stop that.
Wow.
So this condition is very real. It's very scary. I'm actually quite low on the spectrum, which doesn't mean I don't like have pain. It just means that it is not as bad as it can be. Like there's some people that they will have surgery to fix something that's dislocated, and even if they have their jaw wide shut, it will dislocate.
Wow.
Yeah, so
It's unreal.
I'm actually really lucky, and I dare you to go to somebody who's had like 20 surgeries on their jaw and had it wide shut and it still dislocates and tell them to take collagen supplements.
Yeah. What you just brought up is probably maybe where we could sort of like end our discussion on why unsolicited advice is so awful. You mentioned that when you reply, that people are just like, but no, I have this one idea. And often this advice comes from a place of ignorance, but also a place of caring.
Absolutely.
People want to be able to fix your problems. And I am also guilty of doing this. I realized that the other day when you were saying something and I was like, oh, but have you tried da-da-da-da-da-da? I think it was about a go-kart, which is, you know, our, like our form of paying for public transport over here in Queensland. And I was like, oh, but XYZ. And, you know, people do it out of a place of love.
Yeah.
But if you're having a really bad day.
It just hurts.
It hurts. And, like, honestly, the amount of times that I've gone in my head, if someone's like, have you tried yoga? I've been like, but have you tried shutting up?
Yes.
Or getting out of my face? I've never said that to people.
Yeah, but you want to sometimes.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that we're going to have this our whole lives pretty much. And can you imagine how many times of our lives we're going to get these dismissive statements that while they come from a place of love, we get them all the time, and you just get tired of defending the reason why you're not doing that thing.
Or defending your choices that you've made about your medical history.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty serious.
And occasionally it comes from a place of, well, you mustn't want to get better.
Yeah. Or if you think I would have tried crystals or green tea if that was the easiest solution, you think I might have opted, I would have tried some crystals, mate, if it meant I didn't have to have a surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
I might have tried it.
And like the other thing is, I'm gonna sound a bit pretentious, but I'm not dumb. I've got an okay intelligence and I'm pretty well read. If there were any evidence for something like crystals helping, I would have 20 around my neck.
Yeah. And I think also sometimes these ideas can play into, you do get desperate. Like,
yeah.
We're mocking this stuff. I totally did try those birth trauma drops. I did try visceral manipulation, which is like some voodoo kind of juju. Like, it's like massage, but it's not on your body, it's above your body. It doesn't make any sense. I tried that because I was desperate to try anything.
Yeah.
These silly medical advice, pieces of advice that we get, we've tried them all because we do want a cure. So it can be like galling, especially if you're not new in your pain career and you're like, I've been around a while. Yeah, I have tried all those horrible things.
And like, one of my recent responses has been, well, actually, the very little research that has been done on EDS has found that basically we're going to need to do gene manipulation or stem cell stuff.
Like orphan black stuff.
And you know what? We're not there yet, and we may never get there in my lifetime. So, like, it's a bit cruel for you to be like, I fixed it, and meanwhile I've been like looking up this stuff for years. And my doctor actually went, bless her, she's a GP and she's just my hero. She went home after her hours and researched
this gene therapy stuff.
No,
gene.
Just anything EDS.
Oh wow.
Anything EDS. Any like doctors who had ideas, or just so she could understand it, because she didn't do it in medical school.
Because it's probably unknown, unsung condition.
Yeah. Yep. And the fact that like she couldn't find some mythical treatment goes to show that there isn't one.
Yeah.
Because she's very experienced, and contrary to belief, she wants me to get better. So if a doctor...
What?
I know, if a doctor can't give me an idea, like, oof.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, please, if you've got ideas for, someone you love or and you think it might help, maybe word it in a way that's a bit sensitive. Like, stop me if this is, not a good idea, but I just wanted to check because I care. Have you considered this? And if you have, do you think that it did anything? Only if you have that relationship though. Like, if you're a stranger at a party, shut up.
Yeah. I find when I meet other women with pelvic pain, I don't say, hey, I tried X, Y, and Z and this worked for me. I say, hey, this is, if you're talking spoonie to spoonie, person with a chronic illness to another person with a chronic illness or disability, I say, hey, I have similar conditions. If you want to chat about possible treatments,
let me know,
because I'm a bit in the know about them.
Yeah.
Spoonie to spoonie, that's fine. But if you're like a friend or a family member, you could, instead of just saying, have you tried yoga? Say, like you said, I've been looking into something because I care about you. Do you think this has any credibility maybe?
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
Do you think this holds up? Do you think this holds water?
Absolutely. And I've had people who I love do that. And you know what? I listened. And I went home and I researched.
Yeah.
And I don't have to have a conversation about them about yay or nay, but I chose to because they're in my inner circle, and we had a civil conversation about, no, that's not going to be helpful.
Yeah.
And you know what? You kind of grow a relationship and a rapport over it. Like, it's not damaging, but do it sensitively.
Yeah.
And you don't know everything. And, you get people with the same condition barking at you to do certain things as well. And that's just as bad.
So yeah, what it's like. Just be chill. Be polite. Have some empathy.
What's empathy?
It's like sympathy, but it's where you don't feel sorry for someone.
I don't think that's a thing. Sounds fake.
Caring about another person because you can understand their feelings.
Yeah, I don't like, I know like a handful of people that can do that. So we've got some listener submissions for their unsolicited medical advice. So Emma and I are going to go through them. We had listeners submit via Facebook and Instagram, and we're going to read them back to you.
Thank you for submitting. It was awesome to read.
It was actually really nice to have you guys open a dialogue with us. Like, it was nice, and a lot of you had a bit of a catharsis from it, which we will really, like, if it made us feel good, because that's what we wanted.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go by first name unless I've had someone ask not to be identified. So I'll start with Rebecca. And she says, I had an Uber driver the other day tell me that I should drink ginger tea for chronic pain because those medications are horrible. Okay, first of all, they want me to investigate or they suspect I have EDS. So is your ginger going to fix my collagen production? I'm also not even medicated for pain. I'm medicated for POTS, which is a heart condition I actually have myself. Does have nothing to do with pain. It's a beta blocker quite often. Is your ginger going to fix that? And she goes, I'm still salty, can you tell? Rebecca, I empathise because I have EDS, which you may or may not know, and yeah, you can't fix your DNA with ginger tea.
But it tastes so refreshing.
It does taste pretty delicious, and it actually helps my nausea.
Oh, see, that's something that's like, wait, is ginger proven to help nausea?
I don't know.
Or is it just, most people would say yes, it does?
I don't know, but even if it's placebo, I don't care.
Well, because there's some like woo medicine that's like pretty legit.
Yeah.
Whereas ginger has not been proven to help collagen production.
No.
So.
Alrighty. Here's another one.
So, Kate was told to stop being a hypochondriac, that her leg was not broken, because you can just will your leg into being broken if you're hysterical enough.
Yeah, naturally.
That happens, you know? You're just like, oh God, my leg is broken, and then it just snaps in half. Did you know that?
That's some powerful mind tricks.
Yeah, that's how, like, it's a whole, like, conspiracy. It's the Illuminati, actually.
And what I really enjoyed about Kate's post is a friend of Kate has come along and gone, I remember before I met you, somebody told me Kate's not actually mentally ill, they're just a vegan. That sounds logic.
Vegan is in the DSM-5.
Yeah, totally.
Listed as a psychological disorder.
Ugh, why do people suck?
That was sarcasm, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do people suck? Yeah.
That, we were pretty bummed by that.
Some of these I just kind of, I don't even have like a witty response. I'm just like silently judging, like, what?
I know, it's just not really fair.
So the next one is from Emma. That's not me. So the first was a massage therapist asked who she had asked to work on her hands because her hands were very sore and stiff. And this massage therapist said to Emma, if your hands hurt so much, then why do you use them? I mean, what do you really need to use your hands for? And Emma said, I had no idea what to say, so I assumed she was legit and patiently explained to her that even if I sat on the couch watching TV all day, I would still need my hands to use the remote. She took this information very seriously and said, oh, I never thought of that.
Oh my God.
And Emma actually had a pretty funny other one.
Yeah, Emma gave us two really great ones. Thanks, Em. Oh, no, wait, I remembered another one. She goes, a friend of my parents, I love when people talk through your parents as if they're like, that's another thing I have problems with. Anyway, a friend of my parents once told me to see a kinesiologist and have the spirits of my past lives exorcised from the bottom of my spine where they apparently live. Once the trauma previous life me had experienced was gone, I would be fine. And she goes, I had to hyperventilate in the bathroom after that one. Yeah, I think I would be pretty...
That was just a possession by those spirits,
God.
actually. It wasn't hyperventilating.
That would... I have no idea how I'd cope with that, to be honest. Anyway, to be fair, though, she goes, a psychic once did approach me at a party to tell me that my soul had lived human life before, so maybe the doctors are just wrong.
I'm really intrigued that they lived in the bottom of her spine.
That
Not like in another plane or another dimension, but in her spine.
Wouldn't the base of the brain make more sense than the base of your spine? Like,
Oh, that's where the thinking happens, in the base of your spine. Didn't you know?
like the base of your spine is just a tailbone, because in evolution we never lost the tailbone because the energy it would take to get rid of it would not be worth having an extra bone. Like, it's the most redundant part of our body because we used to have tails.
Can I just swoop in here with an anecdote that's kind of off topic?
Please.
I'm reading this, I'm listening to this audiobook about the evolution of humans. It's like really famous, or like it's really popular right now. And apparently Homo sapiens did not evolve to understand numbers and maths. We are not meant to understand those things. And as someone who has always been quite dreadful at maths, I'm very happy about that.
That's quite comforting.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another one from Nico. Had a random person go to them. I know someone who can cure people like you. Okay, I'm going to intervene. The sentence "people like you" is one of the most offensive ones out there. So kudos that you didn't tell them to heck off at that point. They then continued with, "Have you heard of Jesus?" Nico replied, "Yes, but that's pretty patronizing and insulting." Fair. Random. It's not patronizing. He can help. And then the reply that they had to us is, "Not sure if this falls under medical or spiritual advice." I feel like it falls under unsolicited advice generally, and that's a pretty awful thing to say to somebody.
Jesus is not around to heal any lepers anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like, he's not here right now. Like, even if you, yeah.
Can I give like an anecdotal story here?
Yeah.
So I work in retail and I work nights by myself. And I had this Christian van, like, you know, the people that kind of travel around and like spread the word of God, and they're generally nice people that
In a van?
Yeah, they had a van. It was a bit of a windowless, creepy van.
Okay.
But that's not the point. He came into the shop and he goes to me, "I'm sensing that you're in pain."
Oh.
And I was creeped out and I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, Jesus is telling me that I should pray for you. Can you pray with me?" And I'm like, "I'm at work. I don't have time." And this guy is like, "Okay, what's your name?" "Oh, your name tag says Georgia. I'm going to go home." And he called it like a band or like a group of, I don't know, there was a special word for his group of Christian buddies. And he goes, "We're going to go home and we'll pray for you. And we'll think nice thoughts and God will heal you." And I was like, if I wasn't at work, the things I would say to you.
Yeah. Like, I think the idea that someone's thinking of you and praying for you, that's kind of nice, but that they're praying to cure you, like that's redundant prayers. You're wasting your time.
It comes under the people like you mentality.
Yeah. I feel sorry for you, so I'm going to pray for you.
Now, I've got another one here that Emma and I don't think we stop laughing because it's probably the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. A friend of mine I know called William has said that someone said to them, "It's because you don't spend enough time in water. You're a Scorpio. It's not healthy for the water signs to be away from the beach or lakes or rivers as often as you are. Have you thought about taking up swimming?" I don't know if this is technically medical, but I was given it under the pretense of curing me of my various physical and mental ailments, so I'd count it.
I mean,
Was that person on drugs?
I don't know. That person was probably a tarot reader.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, it was funny when I first read it, but now it's just kind of depressing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that laughing, crying emoji.
Absolutely.
Where you're like, ah.
It's like, this is funny. This is funny, but the implications are sad.
That's like, yeah, I just don't even know where to begin with that.
No.
Okay, is this the last one we have?
There's two more to pick from,
Oh, sorry. Yep.
but I reckon you could probably summarize that one quite quickly.
Okay, so this is from a listener named Ruby. So she got some great, really progressive advice, really 21st century equality advice. She had been told if you had a husband, you wouldn't have chronic pain, and 2 people told her that. So, how do you think a husband would defeat chronic pain? How does it cure it?
They own a penis, and that fixes everything.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Have you not heard? A uterus makes you crazy.
Oh yeah, the wandering womb. You know, you'll have all this free time you had to be a hypochondriac. You now just totally, it's taken up by cooking your man meals and cleaning and being the cute little wifey. Yeah, so she has some real corkers here. So, you can rewrite your memories with hypnosis, so you have nothing to be depressed about anymore. Georgia, as a psychology student, how correct is that?
It's as correct as saying the Earth is flat.
Illuminati. Wait, is that not the Illuminati? That's someone else, isn't it? No, they're just like flat earthers. I think that's what they're called.
Oh, God.
Okay, breaking your jaw and resetting it might help with your headaches.
Pardon?
Who are these people? This is still Ruby's great slew of advice that she's been given, this poor person. Coffee cures migraines.
I mean, it can take the edge off if that's why you get migraines, but it's not going to cure them.
And in Ruby's case, it's actually the opposite, as it raises her blood pressure and worsens her migraines. Ugh. So again, when we've been talking in this episode about like how you can't slap a general statement on somebody because it might work for some people. I know someone whose migraines are helped by coffee.
Yeah,
but
I'm one of them.
You couldn't.
But it's.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about you.
Yeah. Ooh.
But yeah, what else?
Everybody is different. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, and so we've got another one from Melanie, and she had said this idea again with migraines that she was told by a doctor that she wouldn't get headaches or migraines if she moved out of home and got her own house.
I asked her if the doctor also was against avocado toast. And apparently it was before the avocado toast scandal. So I could only imagine that doctor was like yelling at the sky with a fist like, ugh.
For those that don't know the avocado toast scandal, it was a conservative writer was, writing about millennials and how they spend all their money on avocado toast and that's why they can't have a house.
Like at cafes. They buy like breakfast from cafes instead of making it themselves.
Because, his generation locked us out of the housing market, but whatever.
I have a friend that lives in Sydney and she figured out if she cut all her takeaway coffees out of her life, she would only have 1/8 of a house deposit for Sydney.
That's sad.
Like, her and her husband included.
Does she have chronic pain now that she has a husband?
I don't know. I don't think she had some in the first place, but like...
Oh, okay.
But
there goes that joke. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I have a partner and he definitely supports me and he makes chronic pain easier to deal with, but he hasn't cured me, he never will cure me, and the presumption that having a man fixes problems is problematic.
Maybe you're just, maybe he's not the one for you because he should be curing it right now.
Have you tried turning him on and off again? Have you tried resetting them?
Oh my gosh. Has he tried drinking ginger tea?
We got like so many responses and those were just a few. Thank you so much for submitting things. We're going to ask you to submit things throughout, our podcast journey, and we're really happy to have you guys interact with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for sending stuff through. It was hilarious and sad to read at the same time.
And it sucks that you guys had to go through those experiences, but I think it gives me a sense of solidarity knowing that you're not alone and living in a world that you could be sitting in a room and people are talking about those people and you totally don't come across as one of those people, and you just kind of, you either put yourself in a position of barking at them for being assholes or you just sit and kind of shrink. Like, it's not good.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of a power in speaking up and kind of being able to, as you said, have solidarity and have a bit of a collective laugh about all of this ridiculous advice. Yeah. So thank you everybody for sending some advice in.
Yeah, thank you. What I was going to say is that was kind of our content for this episode.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in conclusion, don't use a coffee enema.
That's good.
Rose quartz will not heal your knee pain. And don't get pregnant just to get rid of pain.
Yeah, so I'll chuck out some credits here now. So our introduction music has been composed by Callum Kennedy. Woo! Thanks, Callum. Callum's actually my partner, but he was lovely enough to help us out. And
our logo is designed by Cara West. She is an amazing graphic designer.
And you can find us at haveyoutrideyogapodcast.wordpress.com. We're on Facebook, so just type in Have You Tried Yoga Podcast. We're also on Instagram. It's also under Have You Tried Yoga Podcast. And if you'd like to email us, you can find us at haveyoutridyoga@hotmail.com, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, so it could be, I'd like to do an interview. I'd like to record myself talking about my issue, kind of like almost like a voicemail.
Yeah.
It could be you write down your issues or your questions or comments, and we can read them out if you don't want to have your voice being
And we're
heard.
happy to read it out anonymously.
Yes.
That's fine. Even if it's something like, I want to complain about this person in my life who said something really hurtful, we can read that anonymously.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Within reason. Obviously don't make us read about your roommate who stole your bloody banana or something. That'd be a bit weird.
But if they stole your coffee enemas, we want to know. So what I would like to say to finish up too is that we are purposefully going to be ad-free. We don't want to make any money out of it. We just want this to be something to reach out to the community and also be a bit of maybe like a healing kind of thing for ourselves too.
Absolutely.
To have power in talking about our issues. So what we would really love is if we can get some love on social media.
Yes.
So like us, repost us.
Yes.
Spread the word. Write a review of our latest episode, you know.
Oh, we'd love that. And good and bad, please.
Yeah, we can take concrete, constructive criticism. Go for it.
But don't be mean, please.
You can be a little mean.
You can be a little mean, but don't be like, you have disgusting voices. That's a bit too far.
Vocal fry.
We're trying really hard to enunciate, so
Enunciate. So, follow us on everything, like us on everything, tell your friends, tell your spoony friends. That's some unsolicited advice you could give. Have You Tried Yoga Podcast?
And you'll find all of our links to all of our social media in this episode description.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Stay sexy and don't get murdered. Stay sexy and don't be in pain.
Take your codeine.
Yeah, take a heat pack. Take your crystals and your coffee enemas.
Shove it up your bum.
Bye.
Bye.